Let us know you hear and see everything clearly. I see clearly.
I can see
I was
clearly.
going to say, go ahead, sing it because I don't have a singing voice, but I thought about that song immediately. Hey, good day, everybody. Good day, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Oh, Florida. I hope it's nice and sunny. We're having an ice storm over here in New York, by me anyway. Those are always fun. But I'm excited today because we are here with Rebecca, and she is going to talk all about decluttering. I'm going to start by letting everybody introduce themselves. I'm going to let Rebecca introduce herself last, and then I'm going to let her tell everybody what we're going to be doing today. Because today I'm here to declutter. All right, so I'm going to start with Caitlin. Please introduce yourself. I know, way to put the pressure on you, right? It's your first time here.
I know. I was thinking, like, don't pick me, don't pick me. Oh, but
Well, it was either you or
okay.
Krystal. I didn't know who
No,
to put on the
it's
spot.
okay. So, hi, everybody. I'm Caitlin. I'm in the Hudson Valley, New York. I'm a mindful crochet artist. I host Crochet Circle Lives here on Insight Timer, and everyone's invited if you craft or not. We just do like kind of body doubling and just use each other's energy to get stuff done, hang out. And I have a bunch of tracks with affirmations and things. I like affirmations, they make me feel good. And I like spreading them around, sharing the love. And I don't know what else am I supposed to say, guys. I'm
That's
just
it.
really happy to be here.
I'm excited that you're here. And I wanted to add that I love Caitlin's lives because I work remotely. So I hang out in her lives and it's like I have coworkers in the background while I'm working. So I love the whole co-working. I'm obviously not crocheting, but I love the hanging out and having people to chat with. So I love that. Deana, please introduce yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good, good. So I'm Deana, and I'm here to declutter as well. Although I am with Kat, so I may have limited movement because she's on my lap right now.
I understand.
She's protecting me because internally she knows this is the last thing that I enjoy doing.
Resistance.
Yes, and I've just projected it outside of me. But I'm on Insight Timer, and I, do meditations around self-love and also, working with our mind and thoughts and, getting to that consciousness for real life, awareness for real life. So, but I'm glad to be here and I'm ready to learn and hopefully working with my own resistance to decluttering. So thank you, Rebecca.
Awesome. Awesome. And I was going to say, I often use my dog that way. Like if I don't want to get up off the couch, I turn to my husband and I go, the puppy's sleeping on my lap. Can you go get me some water, coffee, a snack? So I get that. Jessica writes, Dina is cat trapped. Yes, I like that. All right, Krystal, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I am Krystal. I'm from upstate New York, and we are covered in ice here as well. I do EFT tapping, guided meditations. I'm a personal financial wellness coach. I've got a bunch of tracks on Insight Timer, and I also do oracle readings on Insight Timer as well. So I am very excited to get into the decluttering because I have very bad OCD and I tend to hold on to things.
Me too.
Um, so yeah, this is exciting for me.
Crystal, remind me where in New York you're from because I know I
I'm
approached
in
a bunch of.
Schenectady.
Oh, that's right. I remember saying I used to work for MVP up in that direction.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I was excited because I saw a lot of new teachers from New York and I was like messaging all of them and was like, come join us on Ask Your Guide. So I was so happy that you took me up on it. Yes, Jason, Tim was supposed to be here. Oh, he's in Arizona. Okay. Oh, bummer. Him and Mariah, who's also a new teacher, were supposed to be here, but I understand sometimes people can't get connected. That's all right. Melanie, introduce yourself. Not that
Hello,
we don't know who
everybody.
you are.
I'm Melanie Underwood, and I do mostly mindful cooking and intuitive baking. And I have recently went into sound meditations with my gongs, which I'm super excited about. And I just wanted to say that I've been body doubling since I was 8 because I truly believe that I have ADHD, and I was born, I wasn't diagnosed, but I was the person who always did well in school and was a perfectionist, but my whole room was a hot mess. And for me to ever get anything done, I'd be like, I need you to be in my room while I'm working. And it used to drive people insane. And I'd be like, you don't have to do anything. I just need you here. and no one ever understood it. And now I totally get it and I love it and I love being here. And I'm pretty, you can see my room. I don't have a lot of clutter, but I'm a notorious, I don't want to open my mail. So I'm going to declutter my mail today.
Awesome. I love it.
Oh, I'm
All
so
right.
excited. And Violet, what are you working on today? You said that.
I am going to try to work on my desk. I have stuff scattered all over, but my problem with my desk is it's mostly the crystals that I have a lot of. I was saying before you got on here, I need to find a way to group my crystals a little better because they're spread out everywhere. So I've lost like counter space to my crystals, and I've got crystals on the table where I eat. So yeah, I just kind of need to get them in a little better organization.
It sounds like a really nourishing space, but it's also perfect because you're doing a subcategory as well. So we're going to be talking more about that as well and how that helps. And I love how we've all touched upon various things from like body doubling, how it supports ADHD. I believe it also supports highly sensitive people because, we feed off of the energy of other people too, right? So it makes daunting tasks more joyful. So I know that a few of you, like Violet, Melanie, and Caitlin, you guys have been on the decluttering lives before too. So I'm so happy to see you guys here because nothing brings me more joy than being able to see the progress of the before and after, which is also a nice dopamine hit as well. And I love what you've shared, Krystal, as well, of like, the OCD and the letting go, because this method is a way for us to practice healthy letting go. The more we work through those muscles, we get more comfortable with it as well, so that it doesn't become something that we fear, right? So I'm really excited to go through that. And Deana as well, it's so funny because with the cats, I truly believe like children, and animals, they actually feed off of the energy. So I've had clients before, they'll tell me, Rebecca, my cat hates people. You're not going to see my cat while we're decluttering. And like literally the pet comes in to the space that we're working in because they can feel the shift in the energy. So it's such a beautiful way to clear old energy, like remove that stagnant energy and welcome in new opportunities and that fresh energy that we're all craving too. So, I'm going to try my best to also be keeping up with the amazing chat too. So thank you guys so much for being patient. If anyone has any questions too, then feel free to ask in the chat and I'll do my best to be answering too. So we're also going to be using the Pomodoro method. So we're going to be doing 25 minutes of focus work, 5 minutes of rest, a little bit of movement as well, and then another 25 minutes. And so this way it actually will help us to reset our mind and not be ease the overwhelm. So this is a really great technique, especially if we are on the computer quite frequently, just so that we can, I'm an HSP, so I get really overstimulated by too much screen time too, especially when you're managing so many screens too. So it's just a way to move the eyes around, just even get a movement in, especially when we're doing something like decluttering. We don't often realize how.
Did she freeze? Okay. Well, I was going to add that I was at one of her lives the other day. Oh, wait, she's coming back. I was going to say, I was at your live the other day where you said that to get up and stretch. And I was like, that's such a great idea because I'm always sitting. So that definitely helps me.
Yeah, I know, especially because you have you have a techie job too. So
And I have three screens. You were talking about having multiple screens. I definitely get overstimulated by that.
There's been studies on it. So, I want to actually just set the intention as well. So just to set the intention of the area that we're working on today. So, Deana, actually, what was there a particular area that you wanted to work on today?
See this table. And
This
underneath
table.
underneath this table is a stack of books and old information and things from my grandmother that I haven't dealt with. So
Nice.
Great. Caitlin has her scarves, right? And Krystal, what area would you like to be working on?
My desk.
Your desk.
I've
Great,
got
same as
something.
us. Amazing. Okay, so I thought we could just have a very short settling practice before we get into the joyful decluttering. So if everyone can just make themselves comfortable, you can choose to lower your gaze or gently close your eyes and just feeling that cool air entering your nostrils. As you land into the space, feeling the surface beneath you supporting you, whether it's on your back, your bum, your feet. And maybe just elongating your body just a little bit, sitting up a little bit taller, infusing your body with a lot of gratitude. We're going to be infusing gratitude throughout our decluttering today. And just taking a moment to visualize the area that you are going to be working on today, whether it's scarves, your table, or maybe it's your pantry, maybe it's your mail. Visualize yourself taking on the task with joy, harnessing the collective energy that is within this group and beyond, and from all corners of the world. And visualize a warm white light just pouring down from the top of your head, from your crown, and gently pouring down all over you, over your head, over your shoulders, down to your fingertips, through your body, and all the way down to your toes. Feeling supported, invigorated, and loved. Now let's take 2 more cleansing breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and parting your lips and sighing it out. And one more here. Breathing in through the nose, filling yourself up with that joy and confidence, and sighing it out. And when you're ready, let's just bring a little bit of movement back into your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, and fluttering your eyes open. So thank you for practicing. And so I will keep a time on you, and it'll kind of be like the podcast style as well. So I'll just be talking, and then you can also ask questions along the way to just have a conversation. It's like, decluttering with friends. That's what's so cool about it. So thanks so much, Violet and Melanie for hosting as well. You guys are absolutely amazing. So let
Happy
me
to
just
do it.
So I'm going to put a timer, guys, for 25 minutes. Okay. All right, let's go. So
I was gonna throw in that it's like decluttering with a friend, except you don't want to beat him up.
Yeah, exactly. So I know Caitlin has done this a few times as well. So normally what we do is we gather it all together. There are also a few steps that I will also be chatting about while we're doing it, but I wanted to really utilize the time as well. I did send this out ahead of time. So we do actually have a visualization process as well. Okay.
It goes.
So,
oh,
yeah.
I was gonna say I lost a sound.
Okay, good. I think the Bluetooth headphone went on just now. Sorry about that. So the first step is commitment of the KonMari method. So the method is created by Marie Kondo. So have you guys actually watched Marie's shows before as well? So she's on Netflix. She also has a book as well called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And it's a bold title, but it really is life-changing because it's infused in mindfulness too. So the first step is commitment. So thank you guys so much for being here. And then the second step is actually to visualize how you want to feel. So maybe we can just kind of go around as well. I'd love to hear, Krystal, like, how would you like your space to feel?
I want it to feel open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't want to feel like closed in. I don't want to feel chaotic. I want to feel like home.
Yeah, that's beautiful. How about you, Caitlin?
Kind of what Krystal said, but the word that came to mind was spacious. So I want my space to be spacious. Like I want the open areas to have like open space. Like I dug a box out of my closet that's been in the closet since I moved into this house. So we're gonna see what's in there. I probably don't need any of it since I haven't looked at it, but we're gonna take a trip down memory lane and
Yeah.
maybe get rid of sentimental stuff with some friends because we have
Amazing.
backup. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Amazing. Yeah. And then also remember to take a before photo as well, guys. So it have that so that it actually will be an extra boost of dopamine too. So Deana, what about you?
So I want my space to feel useful and functional. Like now, anytime I go to use it, I have to dig a little bit to get to it. So ease of use.
Yes. Yeah. Functional, spaciousness, space that supports you. What about you, Melanie?
I mean, I will be honest, aside from my mail, I don't have a lot of clutter because just like when you work in a kitchen and you have a cluttered space, you have a cluttered brain. So I can't work when it's cluttered. And I haven't tackled this mail because I keep it downstairs. So it doesn't clutter my space. It clutters a porch that's enclosed that I never see. So I think just continually, I'll feel better once I go through this. Now that everything's paid online, I feel like, why am I getting mail?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's really good to recognize. Yeah. Go.
it's valid. Yeah. I don't want to be also, I want to say something and I don't want anyone to take it the wrong way. Because when I've said this type of thing before, people get a little annoyed with me, but Marie Kondo rubs me the wrong way. And she rubs me the wrong way because I knew she was going to start selling shit. And that's what she did. She talked about getting rid of things and then she started selling things. And my thing is about being really conscientious about when we get rid of things, because we don't want to get rid of things and then just buy more because it's super wasteful, not only to ourselves and our pocketbook, but also to the environment. And I just think that I'm not saying don't declutter, but be mindful about what you're getting rid of and do you really need it? Because some things we need and they don't bring us joy, but we need them. So Marie Kondo that.
And I've heard Rebecca talk about stuff like that. I've heard you telling people like, don't get rid of stuff and then go out and replace it. See if you can repurpose it and I love that you tell people to do that because I know in the past I thought to declutter, I had to go out and buy tote boxes and those tote boxes, they're still sitting in a box that I bought to declutter.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so valid as well, because a lot of people are like, what, and then I think it's, I think it's also with like what has happened over time as well. So she was, the business structure and then also having a shop too. So there was like that pressure. And, I guess it's also at the end of the day, it's about like what sparks joy, right? So and this is where we actually step into our power of deciding what sparks joy. Like I'm a professional organizer, but then I repurpose things. So I actually brought things to show, like I use like, these kinds of containers. Hold on. Let me take off my.
Yeah, I saw
Sorry.
you do something one day with a box with tea bags, and I still want to do that with my tea bags.
Exactly. And then you can like cut off like box. I mean, you can buy things, absolutely. But the rule number 3 of KonMari, and it's perfect as well, is that you don't buy any organizing tools until you have decluttered. So that's where the mindful purchasing comes into place. Because when we are just purchasing, just like how Violet, you were mentioning too, of like we buy things thinking that it's going to get us organized, but then actually will encourage, Maria actually says that it encourages hoarding.
Yeah.
It encourages hoarding because you are just moving things in an aesthetically pleasing way. So I always say to people, you know, it's like, use what you have at home, shop from your own home. If you want to upgrade after to like something that's like a purchase, nice container, then go for it. But you're doing it intentionally. And that's where you actually maximize the joy. You know, when you buy something and it just feels so right. Like that's, yeah, I'm sure it's the same for you, Violet, with your crystals, right? You know, that spark
Yes.
crystal. Yeah. So it's like being able to know that, like, oh, we're purchasing it with that intention too. Yeah. So, and Violet, what about you? How would you like to feel in your space?
Open. I think about that all the time. When my husband and I moved into this house 10 years ago, and he built it. We were living in an apartment that was like dark and small, and I moved
Mhm.
into this big house with closets and space, and it was
Yeah.
so open. You know, there's windows and light.
Yes.
And little by little, I started buying stuff and I filled it with a lot of stuff. And I took away that open breathing feeling that I used to have, where everything was just so spacious. Now it's
Yeah.
like the clutter, you know, like even behind me. I mean, those are crystals behind me too, and I love them, but there's just too much stuff everywhere now. And I
Mhm.
look at pictures from when we moved in here and I see how open and clean everything looked. And I'm like, I know I can't get back to that because obviously the house was empty. We had nothing. But I would like to really scale down on the stuff that I am not using. And I
Yeah.
started giving away a lot of things, but then I would bring more stuff in the house. Now I've stopped
Mhm.
doing that. Like I've stopped
Mhm.
buying stuff. And like I said, I have these containers for decluttering that are still in boxes. And I have those foldable things with the zipper, and you know, they're all in boxes still. I haven't used any of them.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, this is it's perfect, right? Because it sounds like everyone, we just want to have more breathing room. And a lot of times, like, so everything is energetically charged. So when we're, you know, that's also why we need to charge up our crystals too, right? Like dust it
Right.
off, run it underwater as well. And then that actually will rejuvenate them too. So we can absolutely do that in our space. And I'll be sharing like some tips along the way as well of like how we can create more energy flow inside of our homes. And it's something that I find a lot of people don't do. So stay tuned for that. But okay, I know we had like our warm up of like discussing and everything as well. I will also be sharing how to fold underwear too into cute little things like that. These are my kids' underwear. So
I was
this
telling my husband about your underwear folding technique. I was like, you would love it because he's a good folder. I am not. But I was like,
see,
I watched her fold underwear and it was amazing.
yeah, it's always like very it's a popular one, so I was like, I'll bring that as a demo today too. And so you know what, I was thinking, okay, now that we've just gone through like what our ideal life looks like, and you know that we have these writing prompts, right? So it's not just about how do you want to feel in your space, but it's also how do you want to feel about yourself. It goes even deeper. What does your ideal day look like too? And these are all ways that it can support us in living a life that feels aligned. So it might feel really basic asking like, does this spark joy? But what it does is it helps us to authentically voice out what is our full body yes, and what is something that we've kind of been tolerating, but we're able to say no to. Like we're finding that courage to say no. So oh yeah, so we need to pull something. Yeah, I'm not even wearing underwear. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, that's so, I'm about to pull underwear in this session. You guys can like you guys can say anything. Okay, Cookie wants queen and king size fitted sheets folded.
Yes, they're so hard.
I can definitely show that demo at like the halfway mark as well. You know, when we do our 5-minute break, because it's a good one to like stand and
Right,
do it.
right. I used to try to fold my fitted king size sheets, and now I confess that when I start and they frustrate me, I just roll them into a ball and I shove them in the closet. I'm like, the hell with this.
It's not the easiest, but yeah, totally. Like once you kind of like know the basic principle, you're like, okay, it's not that bad after all.
And my
So
husband's good at it. I give it to him or I roll it in a ball and shove it in the closet.
I also just want to say to everyone as well, like, okay, like sorry if I'm not looking at the screen because I'm also looking at the trying to look at the Yeah.
Well,
they're-
maybe we could navigate the chat for you and tell you if somebody says something, and that way you
Yeah,
can
that would be
focus
so
because,
helpful.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
If you guys can just like, I mean, I know we're going to be decluttering as well. So for anyone who, I think Melanie will probably be the quickest with her mail. So if you want to just like shout out anything while we're doing it, that would be amazing too. So yeah.
Rebecca, I always will tell you if something comes through once you stop talking. Once we get going, I'll tell you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. Okay, I love this. We're having like a commando versus non-commando combo as well. You know what? Whatever sparks joy, right? You do you. This is where we let go of other people's opinions. So for friends, I'm gonna restart the timer just so that we can get started as well. Okay. So I put the 25
space.
I think is Caitlin cracking up over the underwear issue?
No, it's just that I was so happy the timer was started and I wasn't having to do anything, and now she's restarting the timer, and I was like,
Oh.
yes, like
I've been doing stuff the whole time. When you started talking, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to organize my pens.
yeah.
Oh, look how beautiful they are. It's
Melanie's an
actually cool.
overachiever. Just
I
go ahead,
am.
She
Mary,
really-
rub it in her
Always
face.
an
She
overachiever.
really is. She really is. Deana, we'll beat
Teacher
her up.
said-
We'll beat her up later after school.
I'm in the first row in every class, and I'm like, I know, pick me.
I'm with Deana. We're gonna beat you up later.
Yeah. Okay, so for you guys, I'm really excited about this because I never get to see what people are doing too. Like that was actually my block from doing it on Insight Timer for the longest time. I'm like, how can I do this? Like I can't see it. But anyways, it's turned out to be really amazing, and I'm really grateful for all the fun sessions that we've had so far. So what we're going to be doing is, so for example, on your desk, start by piling like with like, sorting out by like, right? So it's like pencils, color markers, ballpoint pens, or in Violet's case, you can sort them by the types of crystal as well. And so just, and the point is you gotta gather them all together. When you start by bringing it all together, then you're able to, it actually calms your brain because you have all the data points. And it almost feels like Deana, it almost feels like a puzzle as well. So you can actually start by like, okay, this is stationary. What else is there? Like just kind of.
Yeah, when you first said it, I was like, it's just a pile of stuff. And then I was like, wait, I have several technology boxes, several remotes, essential oils, and then like, matches for whatever. I don't know what I'm burning down, but there we go.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Also have books, right? Is it? Yeah. So typically when we work on an area as well, there's actually categories. So in the KonMari method, we have clothing, books, paper, and the komono means miscellaneous in Japanese, which is everything else under the sun. So like your
Good, because I've got like a COVID test, and books and hand cream and a pack of cards, that kind of.
Gotta have that COVID test.
Yeah, just in case. And Krystal, what is that pink thing that you were showing us?
It's a tripod.
It's so cute.
It looked a little I'm not gonna say.
Not like a tripod.
So funny. Yeah. So I know that we're all doing kind of different areas today, but I also want to share like why there's the categories too, why we start from clothing. Clothing is typically the easiest category to start with. Because for example, you know how like when you're doing the desk, there's a lot of miscellaneous items. It's like your junk drawer in the kitchen. I'm sure Melanie doesn't have that in her kitchen. She's like, nope.
No, that was actually, just so you know, when I met my husband and we moved in together, I was like, a non-negotiable, there are no junk drawers. I said, I grew up with a junk drawer in my kitchen as a kid and I despised it. And he's not allowed to have one, and he tries, and I dismantle it.
I love that.
So I have to get rid of this pop socket. It's still bringing me joy, but I'm not using it.
If it brings you joy, so put it into like a little corner, like that's like a pop socket category, subcategory of its own.
Alrighty, I'll create a pop socket subcategory.
Yeah, it could go with kind of your techie things. What is it still sticky? Can you still use it?
No, it's not sticky anymore. That's why that's why I've been like a little kid. I still have it. It has these swirly,
Yeah.
like it's like a snow globe. I have it sitting on my desk and I'm like, why am I holding on to this?
Well, could it be super glued? Who knows? Like just
Yeah.
think about it as you're putting it there, because there is like whenever we feel that little bit of resistance,
Throw it out, Violet.
yeah,
I know,
yeah,
Deana. Deana, part of me is going in that direction.
But
yeah.
I'm sorry,
So
Rebecca, back to you because I feel
so
resistance.
yeah, when you feel that resistance, you're just like, okay, this is where we use mindfulness, right? It's like, hey, let's address those feelings. Like, is it because, it's sentimental, you spent a lot of money on it, or whatever it is, or like maybe you've never used it, right?
It's purple and it has swirly stuff in it.
Yeah. And that's it, like even when I work with kids, you're just like, hey, that broken piece of toy, like it sparks joy for you. Okay, we'll honor it. It's all about honoring your feelings and your emotional readiness.
So my question is, what if too much stuff is sparking joy? How do I,
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so this is where the categories come in, right? So when we pre-sort it, so like, let's say, for example, Melanie is doing her pens for stationery, right? She's sorting it out right now. And then you start off with whatever category is, you start off by taking what sparks ultimate joy. It's like that full body yes, you're just like, yes, definitely. I love this crystal. I love this highlighter. It writes so well. Oh, this pen is amazing. Because there's some pens that don't spark joy. You're just like, doesn't write as well. It's not smooth as well. Those. So we always start with the things that bring us ultimate joy. There's no question about it, because this actually creates a sense of safety inside of our body to let go. Because when you start to compare it, you're like, oh, I feel that contentment, like it's like, oh, I have like, these stationery that I really love. And then when you start looking at the other things, you're like, oh, like there's a little bit of resistance. You're able to ask yourself, guide yourself through it. And you're also reminded that you have the things that are your core favorites. So you feel that sense of abundance. Yeah. So Melanie, you want to say something as well.
And I actually threw away a completely functional pen because it had the name of where I taught for 25 years. And I didn't go back there because I didn't want to, but they asked me to take a 70% pay cut.
Oh,
After
wow.
COVID, when they
Yeah.
reopened up. I know, look at everybody's faces except for the money person. Krystal is like, everyone's like, what? And Krystal's like, wait, I'm trying to process this. And so I was like, no, I don't think I want to take a 70% pay cut. You're asking me to make less money than when I started 25 years ago. So I threw that pen away because I'm like, I actually don't want that energy in my space.
Yes. 100%. I love that, Melanie. And then so this is because you're addressing something that's sentimental. It's somewhere that you taught for a very long time, and it left a bad taste in your mouth, right? Like the way that things ended too. So when we come across things that are challenging, it's also the mindful pause of being like, thank you, right? Like, I know we throw away with gratitude. It's like, thank you so much for teaching me what my boundaries are.
Okay,
Thank
so
you so much for me. I don't like this color. So Deana, yes, you were saying something?
Yeah, so I noticed I was just like cleaning up and I found a couple of pieces of jewelry. And then I look and I have this container that I sometimes throw jewelry in. So I picked them up and I threw them in the container. And then I'm wondering, is that a forward movement or am I just spinning a wheel?
Oh, that's a great question, Deana. So you know what? So what right now, do the pre-sort, which is the categories, and then you can mindfully go through it, because now that, okay, all the jewelry is together, then it'll be easier to lay out, and then you'll be able to choose the ones that really spark joy, and then you can assess the rest of them. Yeah, so it's more like, it's really when we see everything in one go, it's like, okay, these are all my husband's workout tops, right? Or like these are all his underwear, right? So then you're able to see, like, let's use this as an example. I'm always using his underwear as an example as well. Hold on, let me just check as well in case there's anything in the chat too. But so when you see everything in one go, because this is literally everything that he owns, then you just choose the ones that spark joy for you, instead of thinking about like, oh, these are ratty, these are on, at the end of its life, etc. So then he might be like, okay, I love these for oh, you know what? These two I might wear a couple more times. It's like at the end of its life, it served its purpose, but that's it. Like when you're able to see everything in one go, you can clearly make these decisions. Yeah. So I see Deana moving around as well. So it can get very active. So with that kimono category, or when you're doing your office desk as well, always doing it by the smaller subcategories, just like how Melanie is doing her pens right now. I'm sure you might be like testing it out too, seeing if it's, yeah. And it's actually quite fun, right? You're just kind of testing out. I do that in like children's class all the time because they usually have like a big tub of like markers and half of them don't work. And there's nothing more annoying than, when you take a pen or a marker and you're trying to use it, but it doesn't work. And that's actually an energy drainer, guys. It wastes your energy. You're like, using it. So these are all little ways that can actually maximize our energy and create more joy. Right. So, and like, yeah, so same as like what Jason is saying. Yeah, indeed, try to purge things that are triggering. Yeah. And this is where we use gratitude. We use gratitude to soften those edges. Like I had really toxic work situations in the past, and I held on to all my reports and proposals and everything, and also my work dresses too. And then when I finally let go of them, it was that, oh, thank you. You've taught me what kind of people I want to work with. And that was something really empowering rather than being held back by resentment. Let's look at Melanie's.
Okay, it's hard to see, but I organized all my markers, all my highlighters, all my Sharpie pens, all my pencils, and then you can't see in here, but they're erasers, clips.
Yes.
And then now I have a glue stick, and then I have two that are empty.
Yep, perfect. Yes, love that.
And I want to say this because I do pride myself on organization, but I found, I don't know if you guys know these, I'm just pointing it out, so I'm sure some of you guys do. These are called calm sticks.
Ooh.
Do you guys know these? They're really great for all different types of things. They're sensory. You put it on like a phone or a computer. You can rub it. You can read it. I use them with kids. It's a small company actually out of Virginia, and they're amazing. You can look it up. And this one says on here, it's got an eye. It says, see, feel, hear, smell, taste. And I had just stuck them in here and so I have a ton of them actually, because when I do teacher PD, I give them to teachers too. But if anybody ever like needs anything, how some people want to touch stuff, they're perfect for like your computer, your phone, and some of them have figure eights. There's so many amazing ones, and I'd had the extras in there, and some of them have these really cool designs. I feel like a lot of people could really benefit. I'll put it in the chat. Palm strips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Krystal also has one too. Hers is a rainbow one that looks
they're
so
rainbow
cute.
ones, and they say breathe. So as you move through,
Yes, they're
that-
palm strips.
That's so cool.
Did you get them from them or someone else?
I found them on Amazon.
There are cheaper versions, but I have to say I've tried them and these are like amazing. And then this, look, so this is an example for me, Rebecca, of
How cute.
I know.
I love that mixer.
A young student gave it to me.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get rid of it, but I'm like, where am I going to put it? Because I don't use stickers. I guess I could put it on an old computer, but I don't want to get rid of it because I think that's one of the things that I keep are cards. And I got that from both my parents and my grandparents. When someone gives me a card, I keep it, like a birthday card. I have every Valentine's Day card from my husband, and I do have a file for them, but I don't want to get rid of them. And yesterday I said to my son, do you want to throw away this Valentine's card? And I could see he was like, and I said, no, it's okay. You don't need to keep it. I was like, that's up to you. There's, I think, Rebecca, you and I talked about this. My dad kept everything because he attached emotion to things, which I do not. So for me, it's just like, whenever I'm having a bad day, like I've literally kept every single note. I'm not exaggerating, thousands of notes from people from teaching 29 years and them saying, you've made a difference in my life. So I keep those things because if I'm having a bad day, I go and look at those notes just to remind me that snap out of it. But that's different for me. But I don't attach emotions to things. But this little 8-year-old girl gave this to me, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't throw this
Cute.
away.
That's so cute. And I think Deana was showing, she puts it on her notebook, right?
Okay, I'm
Sticker.
gonna do that.
Yeah, I put them
Look.
because then I can do something with them, and it's on like a calendar I use, and then I see them, but then they're used, and I'm not stuck with keeping it forever.
Okay, I'm gonna do that right now.
And
Yes.
then I had 2 questions whenever you're ready for some questions, Rebecca.
Yes, go ahead, Deana.
Okay, so one thing I do a lot of is make little notes to myself so that I, and I want to know like and then I think, well, maybe I need to get a notebook and move all the notes to the notebook. And then the other thing that I encountered, so I'd like advice on that. And the other thing is I encountered is like, so I had my wallet on my desk, but money and cards were here and there. So I was putting it all together. And then I come across a receipt, and it was from like a dinner last night, and I was like had such a good time. So now I'm just looking at the receipt and reliving last night. And am I derailing myself? Do I take a moment for that joy, or is that just me putting things off?
Oh, okay. So do you need the receipts?
Oh, no, I don't need the receipt, but I'm just
Oh,
staring at it because I had a good time last night.
it's good. No, this is mindfulness, right? Like you're able to like relish the experience. And like I did a gratitude challenge before too. So one thing you can do is you can actually write on invoices, and like Melanie, this will be great for you too when you're going through your bills too, just to write thank you paid. So that actually amplifies that sense of abundance.
So I'm
And
gonna
then you
write thank
can
you for like such a good time, on this, and then tear it up and get rid of it.
exactly. Thank you for having the means to be able to pay off the bills or have this enjoyable
It's not
dinner.
paid yet, Rebecca. Let's keep it in around here.
Yeah.
But it will
Deana,
be.
are
I
you
will pay.
finished
Oh,
or
sorry.
no? No,
Oh,
no.
my
Are
God.
you? Somebody asked a question in the chat, but if you're not finished, I'm gonna wait until I.
No, and Rebecca, just get back to me on the notes and what I could do with that, but answer that next person's question. That would be great.
Sure.
Well, it might be a bigger question because actually many people wrote about this. I think Tim wrote about it first, and he said his email is a hot mess disaster. And so like, and then I don't remember, I think it was I don't remember. Someone said, Nicole, I think said that she does folders in her email, which is what I do. But I think that that's really resonating with people because a lot of people are talking about that, the email.
Yeah, the digital decluttering is a hot topic. And I think a lot of times it really is more, the idea of it is a lot more daunting than actually getting it done. So it's really a matter of carving out time. I actually have a course on Insight Timer as well on like digital detox. And one of the tips I have is sometimes it's even just blocking out like 10 minutes. Put it inside your calendar of like, hey, I'm going to commit to like 7 days of purging my emails, just 10 minutes a day. And it's almost like, you're creating that commitment, right? Like when you see it in your calendar, otherwise it's so easy to forget. Put a timer on 10 minutes, see how much you can purge, and then that's it. In 1 week's time, you will have deleted emails for more than 1 hour. And that's a lot. It adds up, like the tiny shifts for that big difference. And another tip is like, if you see something that you don't want, if you use something like Gmail, it'll actually say unsubscribe on top. So it makes it really easy to unsubscribe now. And then you type in that email and search for it, and then you delete all, right? So then you can batch delete. So you're not trying to do it one by one. Please don't do that. That won't be a good use of your time. Yeah. And then I think what else was there? Oh, yeah. So I'm trying to catch up with keep up as well. But yeah, thank you so much, Jessica, as well, for the shout out for the decluttering sessions too. And let's see.
You've got to read what Cookie wrote. Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
Cookie said, I also have a weird, maybe Ed McMahon Publishers Clearinghouse / Let's Make a Deal delusion. But someone will come to my door and ask, do I have a specific item? And I would have just thrown it away and missed the chance to win $100,000.
Oh, yeah. It's the fear, right? that's what holds us back. And I think, like I often say this in the lives too, we have to acknowledge where that it's coming from. And even for, Krystal as well, like, well, where does the fear, where do you think it comes from?
I think it's the fear of not being prepared. Like I have 3 calendars. I have digital calendars and I have paper calendars. Um I don't know. I have to dig deeper. But yeah, it is the fear of not being prepared. If I think it's like if something bad was to happen, I wouldn't be prepared. I wouldn't have that item. I just it's fear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I love how you mentioned like getting curious about going deeper with it. I often find that it has to do with our ancestral past,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
everything our ancestors have been through, war times, famines, the Great Depression, right? So these become like learned behaviors.
Yes.
It's like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, can't throw anything away, just in case, just in case.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's the whole just in case.
the whole just in case, but just in case is okay, but we have to be really conscious of whether or not we're being guided by fear or guided by love and confidence. So when we do have something that's like a just in case, or like, okay, it doesn't super spark joy, like, okay, this is a great example, like this highlighter doesn't super spark joy, but it serves a purpose for now. And I also know why it doesn't super spark joy, because I bought like a cheap one, so it doesn't highlight as well, but I'm like, I don't have a replacement right now. So I'm like, okay, I'll use it for now. It serves a purpose for now. So it comes from a place of confidence rather than like, oh, like, I don't, I feel bad to throw
Yeah.
away. Right. And then you're setting the intention to also replace it too. So when we're and this is something I say, I'm like always repeating myself over and over. It's like, when you're not sure about something, you ask yourself, am I keeping this out of confidence? Can I keep this with confidence, even though it's a just in case?
I like
So
that.
we're shifting the energy. Even though it's a just in case, when we're doing it with confidence, it gets supercharged by, joy and love, right? Yeah. So we're not being held back by it.
I
How's
have
it
a
going?
notebook solution. So I know Deanna was talking about notes. It's not cheap. I bought a Remarkable. So it's a digital notepad because I collect notebooks. I love them. I love notepads. I'm all about paper and then it drives me crazy. So I got that. I've had this for I think 3 years. It's been kicking, works great. I can carry it with me wherever I go. I can write my notes down. So
Does
it's an
it,
investment in the beginning, but it has saved me a ton of paper.
how about, does it let you organize it to like, this is about work, this is about,
Oh yeah.
meditations I want to do, this
Yeah, I
is
have
like
different
my bills.
like file folders, and within here I can create different notebooks. It's very organizable.
Okay, cool. Remarkable.
Yes.
I have
Yeah.
one. I could send it to you, Deana. I don't use it. I just need paper. Like I do use a notebook. I have it by my desk and I go through one and then I get rid of it and I go through another one because I always get notebooks at events and stuff, but I just can't use digital.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll work that out and then I'll give you something for it so you're not totally out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Towards the gong.
What's cool is also like, it goes back to, we're such unique individuals, right? And it's not one size fits all. So what sparks joy for one person is not going to for the other person. And like, this is where we're able to take ownership of how your unique operating system works and what brings you joy. Like I like actually doing the, paper. I mean, I do both actually. So I get like extra joy from crossing the list off in multiple places too. Yeah. And this is what's so cool about like being able to work together to come up with solutions too. And I see that I think Jessica was saying that she had like 7 glue sticks as well. So that's awesome, because then you're able to now see, you're like, okay, this is my back stock. So now I have like 7 glue sticks. You know, Melanie might be like, okay, I have like this many markers, this many pencils. So it actually gets plugged into our minds. And so this is where we're also removing the fear of not having enough. Because when we don't have these data points, then we end up making those repeat purchases. When you know how much olive oil that you have in your pantry, right? Or, oh, I have this many amethyst crystals, right? But I'm sure Violet's like, you can never have enough, you know? Then it helps you to make more conscious decisions of like, hey, oh, look at that. It's gorgeous.
But mind you, this is just like one I mean, there's a lot more across my desk.
Is that like a selenite bowl or what is it?
That is a selenite bowl, yes. It's
Gosh.
really heavy.
That is beautiful.
Yeah,
love
and it's heart-shaped, the selenite bowl. I don't know if you could see it.
yeah.
But there's I just took them all off. I have a glass shelf underneath my monitors and it's covered in crystals. So I just took them all off. I'm like, well, at least now I can dust.
That's amazing. Yeah, and that it also makes cleaning a cinch too. And I see, Caitlin, are you done with your scarves already? I saw you put some on yourself earlier too.
I'm debating breaking down my box.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the box, I've had this box since I moved out of my ex's house over a long time ago. Like a
Yeah.
long time ago. And this box has been with me since that move. So like a couple of moves. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know it's just cardboard, but like now I'm down to the cardboard box. And I'm like, do I break it or do I put it in the basement with my other cardboard boxes that I'm not using and don't need?
Well, like how many, you know, and then this goes back to like how many cardboard boxes do you have?
Yeah, I know. I think I have enough already. And they're
Oh,
good sizes. I feel
yeah.
like I'm gonna say goodbye to it.
I love that because you're using the key word, I have enough. And that creates that sense of safety. You're like, hey,
Yes.
I'm ready to let it go.
Safety net. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
I have a
Guys, so
small collection of mermaids around my desk too.
That's awesome.
I have
This
a
is
great
what-
idea.
This is what I mean, where I got a little out of control. And this all started during the pandemic. I started buying lots of crystals, lots of I would walk into a metaphysical shop and see things like these cute mermaids and buy them. So that's also all over my desk. And yes, it's great that I took them down because I can dust, but they're all going to go back up there.
yeah, and then dust it, right? Like dusting is a huge part of keeping the energy clear in our homes as well, right? And then I can see Caitlin there collapsing the boxes now as well. I love that so much. And you know what, guys? Our first sprint is over. So we're going to take a mini break. You know, get yourself hydrated, especially if you've been in kind of weird positions. I know we've all been kind of sitting. So I just attended a talk. So I was thinking we could just get some movement in. And I know that Violet, you were in that
I'm tethered, but I am going to reach.
Okay.
I am going to reach for my my
Maybe we
duster so I can dust my desk.
yes. So for anyone who might be sitting right now too, just feel free to like get some movement in. And it was this lady called Manoush who hosts the NPR radio, and it's called Body Electric. That's her radio station. And and she says just 5 minutes. Every half an hour, you just move for 5 minutes. You know, so and that actually creates, I'm actually going to, this is a standing desk, so I am going to move this right on up. So, and also not blind you with the bare light bulb. My husband did not like the lampshade. He was like, it's not sparking joy. So he took it off. And I was like, but the bare bulb is not sparking joy for me either. So I think we're gonna have to like make a run to IKEA or a furniture shop.
I love a joy fight.
I know. And it's always the first step, right? If something is kind of niggling at you, what's the tiniest step that we can take towards, clarity? So we haven't quite purchased that lampshade yet, but then it's like, okay, we've done the first step, which is removing it. Okay, so let me see.
So I'm going to run my trash to the trash can and put something in the bathroom.
Okay,
And I'll be right back.
Use gratitude. When you throw it, it might feel weird, but it's just like, thank you.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll try it.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
Come back. Yeah.
I think that we should all, I don't know how we would do it because we can't do it on IT, but we should have like a list of the things we're giving away and then do a swap for people who need it. Because as I was sitting here, I was like, oh gosh, I wish I had a letter opener right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sure someone's throwing away a letter opener somewhere.
Yes. Yes. And then that's, yes, a cookie. Cookie says, are you going to fold a photo sheet? Yes. Let me go and grab it. Okay. And I'll come back to you.
In someone's group, Jessica, maybe we can do it in my group, but then how do we find where we're going to send it to? Or could we post addresses? I mean, maybe people don't want to do that. I don't know. Working out the logistics.
You know what? My husband would be so much better at this, but it's okay. He loves folding. So this is the other thing, right? Like when there's systems in the house, like I'm sure it's the same for you, Melanie, in your kitchen, right? You get into that flow state of mind because it's almost like a dance in your kitchen. You know exactly where everything is and you're just grabbing things. And that's how we can actually activate our flow state of mind, you know? And then when you're taking breaks from like computer work, etc., too, then like we do the laundry and then we put things back. So it doesn't take extra time to reset the house. Okay, so guys, if you can see here is the sheet. And then, so I just put my hands into it, right? Like that. I'm just putting my hands into it. And then it's almost like you're putting your palms together. You're putting your palms together and then you're folding it over so that one is under the other. And then the same thing for the other side. So there's a corner. Your hand is in the corner here. And then on the other side, because I know Cookie is going to drop off soon. So let's just get this in. So again, getting that corner, like the corners are like, you know, touching each other, is kissing each other. And then you get the two cornered part. And then again, right? Like that. So the corners are all together. And then you just get all the fumbly bits. I call it the fumbly bits, like all these little bits on the inside. And then, okay, I'm trying to do the standing, guys, so bear with me. And then I would just fold it into thirds. I would just fold it into thirds. And then again, down thirds. And then you come back with this. Just like that. Thanks so much, Summer Star. Yeah, and Jessica, what are we supposed to do with old batteries nowadays? Yeah, there should usually be battery recycling drops. So in the UK, I'm based in Edinburgh in Scotland, so they have it in all supermarkets. What about you guys in the States?
Here in New York, we have a place that we can take them to.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so definitely check it out because yes, definitely we cannot just throw it into the landfill as well. Yeah.
How are you
Yeah.
from Scotland and you sound like a valley girl?
I know. I don't sound like it. I don't sound like it. I was born in California. I was born in LA.
Okay. Maybe
You're
that was
you're totally on point with that. So let's see. Okay. So Violet, how are you? I know you're wrangling, so I do not expect you to like clear out your crystal stick because it is also highly sentimental, right? And so this is also why with the categories, we save the sentimentals for the last, just like how Melanie was mentioning about the gift card greeting cards as well. Exactly. Like if we go straight into greeting cards or our beloved crystals, we're gonna be like, oh, I'm not quite ready. I'm just gonna keep everything.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely never going to get rid of any of these crystals. I just wanted to organize them a little better. I took them all down. I'm dusting my glass shelf and I'm going to put them back.
Yes. Yeah. And
You
you
know-
know what's also, yeah, go ahead, Melanie. Yeah.
Something else I do is sometimes I make collages because this is from Maisha. You know, she sells candles and I bought some. So with the candle came this beautiful, the candle I bought was Gather, which is the name of my company. But I saved this because I'm going to do one of my collages and use this. Can you see that?
Yes. How beautiful that, and it's a bowl as well.
Yeah.
I
It's a
mean,
candle, but that's her card. It's a bowl with fruit in it, which I'm
And-
like, this is just connected to me, even though it's a candle, and that's why I bought it from her. And I don't want to get rid of it because I know it does bring me joy. And then sometimes with the collages, I'll keep them. Sorry, and then I get rid of them because I'm like, they're just paper. My joy is gone now.
Yeah, no, and it's beautiful. And it's really about like creating a dedicated space for it, right? Like whether it's just like a small box. So when the time comes to joyfully collage, then you have it right there. My husband just went on a trip and then he has like a map of like where he traveled, like a small one that came from the hotel, but he was like, oh, that's sentimental. I'm gonna use that for my scrapbook. So I thought that was super cute. Yeah. Um, and let's see, how's it going, Deana?
It's going good. I did have a question on, so as I'm doing this, like I hit things like, oh my God, here's something on taxes. And then it's like, oh gosh, do I need to, I found this receipt, which I'm gonna need to check up later and make sure these two checks deposited correctly because there was a question on it. And so what I'm noticing is I'm going through a lot of emotions, right?
Yes.
Like I don't want to deal with this one. This one really stresses me. This one, and some things are easy to go through and throw away. So is there
Yeah.
any tips on dealing with the really range of emotions I'm feeling as I'm dealing with this junk?
Oh, this is such a great question. And I'm so glad that you pointed this out. And the reason why is because you're actually starting with the fourth category, which is the kimono miscellaneous, right? So why that's considered a high intensity category is because just like I said, you're like, oh, taxes, work stuff, or this is, this and that. So there, our brain starts to feel a little bit jumbled. So that's where the overwhelm, that's where the stress hormones start to come about as well. So when we're doing, this is also why like we actually do it from like, clothing onwards. But in this case, because I'm here right here with you too, so we can do it. Like I'll be right here with you, just guiding you through those emotions too. So again, we just kind of go like just going through the piles. If it makes you feel better, then maybe it's just writing a note of like, okay, to deal with tax, right? And then we create like smaller segments, and then think about where do they belong. Do you do your taxes on this table, or do you have another table that you work from?
No, I'll probably do them from here and then,
Okay, yeah.
go
So
from
if
there.
you want it to be visible, you're like, because it is pending, you need to do it immediately. Visual cues are really powerful, because if we
Okay.
stick it somewhere like, under the table or somewhere else, or if it's buried under, we're not going to do it, right?
Right.
So
No,
if
and I leave all my tax documents out on a countertop, till
yeah,
I cluster them all together and then I keep them in a chunk because I got to deal with that. So that's,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, so you can actually set an intention. Okay, all the paper items that you want to deal with, then once that space is clear, so then it has a place to live. So it almost becomes like a visual reminder to
Mm-hmm.
get off. Because when the table is cluttered, it'll get lost in the clutter.
Mm-hmm.
End up not doing it, right? Yeah.
Right.
And Krystal, how about for you?
I feel so much better.
So
Yeah, I
glad.
organized everything into piles. I have one big like garbage pile
Yep.
that I'm really happy to say I can just throw in the garbage and just be done with it. Um, so something that came up like while Deanna was asking about, dealing with different things and different emotions. Like for me, I'm the person where I'm at work and I'm doing tapping.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, Deanna, if there's something that really upsets you, like, okay, I really don't want to work on this right now. I'm gonna set it in a pile. And just like tap on the different points. Yeah. Even though this is really stressing me out, I'm comfortable organizing in two separate piles, you know, and
Yes.
I'm gonna work through it today, or I'm gonna set a timer, just tapping on the different points to try to bring your nervous system down so you're not elevated with it, if that makes sense.
That's so beautiful. Yeah. And it's that reminder of like being able to step back into your power, right, Krystal? Yeah. And Deanna as well. It's just like, let's keep
Yeah.
tapping. Yeah.
I
Like
did feel
people,
it. I felt my tummy
they're
calm
like,
down
what is she doing?
after
I'm
doing
like,
it.
I'm tapping.
No, but I felt like a gut reaction to that of just
Oh,
more calm.
Yes.
good.
Yeah. And also just recognizing as well, it's like it is when we know we're like, it's a higher intensity category. right? Like taxes don't necessarily spark joy.
Hey, I'm glad I have to pay them in a way because it means things are coming in and moving through, so that's all right. But yeah, no, and I'm afraid all of mine's going to be very miscellaneous because I just go from clutter pile to another clutter pile. Like everything's always miscellaneous for me. There's not really a pile of clothes, except for there is a pile of clothes on the washing machine dryer, sitting on top of the dryer.
Yeah. And then and it is like being able to go through it, then we're like, okay, like I actually don't need this. And another thing that really helps, Deana, as well, if you have boxes around the house. So it can be, like sometimes gadget boxes, they're like very hard cardboard. If you have anything like that, yeah, you have like a cardboard box, you can just cut the top off. If you have a pair of scissors, cut the top off, and it's like a really great organizing tool. I'm all about like repurposing however we can. Like, this is like a vegetable tray, right? And so because you're dealing with miscellaneous right now, you can actually shush the space and also group them by the subcategory, and it helps a lot. So shushing a space is something I share. I don't highly recommend it because I want people to also set the intention. Like otherwise, when we shush a space, it's like what shushing means is, okay, your bedside table is filled with things. You grab a box and you shush it. You're like, I don't have the energy. I'm going to respect my body and my mind. I don't have the energy to deal with it right now. I'm going to shush it. Let's just put everything into this box. But I want everyone to also like set the intention to like go through it, because otherwise all these shushing boxes will pile up too. So that's just like a little hack. So when we're feeling low energy, fatigued, or if you're dealing with like chronic conditions too, which leaves you low energy, give yourself that grace. And just shushing it feels amazing too.
Renuka had asked about decluttering jewelry.
Oh yeah.
And
Hey,
I
Melanie's
did
doing
grab,
it right now.
I
Yeah.
grabbed a couple things just so I could show her.
Yes.
This is super old, but it hangs in my closet. I had this when I lived in New York City,
I have one of those.
but then this one, I just emptied stuff out, but this is from the Container Store, and I'm not advocating buying more stuff if you don't have it, but for me, these work because I have so much jewelry and they're just I don't want to turn it, but it has a space for everything and it's so
Yes.
helpful.
Now, my
Yeah.
problem is I have a lot of old costume jewelry from when I used to work in an office, and I'm not using any of it. And I want to get rid of it. And when I go to look at it, I'm like, oh, this is so cute, And then it's like I don't get rid of anything because now I'm thinking it's so cute. But meanwhile, I'm not using any of it. I have a thing just like the one that Melanie showed us, filled with stuff in my closet. I haven't touched it in years.
Yeah. And that's such great sharing as well, because it is a little bit sentimental as well, right? And then like, especially when you have grandbabies coming on as well, then you're thinking about like, who can I save it for? Could it be costume jewelry for them too?
I don't know that I want to keep stuff for my kids. And my son is so good. He's like super neat. I don't know how he's my child, but he will, if I see something and I think he likes it, I'm like, oh, do you want me to get that for you? He's like, no, we're good. He will not allow anything in his house unless there's a purpose for it. So I am definitely not saving anything for the grandkids.
Oh, I love that so much. There you go. Setting boundaries, right? As well. And then it also helps you to make the decision. You're like, it's not going to be something that I do. And I see, Caitlin, you've done your jewelry as well.
Yeah, so I actually crocheted a display for my earrings
How cute.
because they were in piles all over my room. So I was like, I got to do something with this. I have more stash that I need to go through too, but like these are all the gifts from hubby and ones that I made. So now they're on display joyfully where I can see them and actually enjoy them while I'm not wearing them.
Yeah. It's so great, and then being able to see it means that you can like get dressed faster, right? Accessorize yourself faster too.
It's funny because I have certain jewelry that I wear, I use a lot of. And then I have other jewelry that I've not been using at all. And I've got, I want to say probably 3 or 4 different jewelry boxes around my bedroom. And I'm like, I have to sit down and get this all together and get rid of the stuff that I haven't used in, 5-10 years.
Yeah,
I
and
have
sorry, Violet, go ahead.
Oh no, that wasn't me. Somebody else started
that was
talking.
me, but go ahead, Rebecca, go ahead and do your
Oh
thing.
no, I just wanted to say as well, like, because sometimes like jewelry can be a bit sentimental. I mean, everyone has different sentimental categories. Like for some people it might be purses or shoes that are like super sentimental, right? So we're gonna have sentimentals in each and every category. You're gonna have sentimental books, you're gonna have sentimental paper, you're gonna have sentimental miscellaneous items too, right? So it's when we do hit those items, you kind of feel in the gut as well. You're like, okay, you have that knowledge of, you're like, let me put this aside. This feels a little bit hard right now. So you're honoring your nervous system as well. So for example, doing the jewelry, Violet, it might look like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and when I'm feeling relaxed, and not when you're trying to wrangle a live and OBS as well. and do it with like a cup of tea, and then going through thinking about, I often like to, and a lot of people have been giving really wonderful donation ideas too. So it's just like when we have in mind, oh, this person will look great in this, or this charity shop could really benefit from it as well. So that supercharges us to mindfully give.
That actually helps me. I have a friend who has a thrift shop and she runs a food pantry. So the money she makes in the thrift shop goes to the food pantry. So that's been a big help to me, knowing that it's going for a good reason like that, where I have to, I guess, force myself a little, is to actually sit down and go through this stuff, because I start and then I'm like, oh, this is overwhelming. And then I put it back and I stop.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it goes, and jewelry sometimes a little bit tricky because we do need time. Sometimes the necklaces or whatever might be a little bit tangled too.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, maybe it's like having some good music on, or maybe ritualizing it by lighting a candle as well.
Yeah.
And then
Where I've gotten good is like, my husband has an aunt who is an absolute angel. She's always buying me purple stuff. And in the beginning, I never wanted to get rid of anything, because I was like, how sweet of her to be looking for purple things for me, because she knows I love the color. But I ended up with pots and pans that I never used. I had like multiple can openers that were purple and spatulas. And she's older, so she's forgetful. She's actually bought me 2 or 3 of the same strand of like amethyst, necklaces. So those I started in the box. I wouldn't even take them out. I would give them to my friend who had the thrift store. And I'd be like, look, she spent a lot of money on this. I know you can get good money for it at the thrift shop. And I know you're using the money for the food pantry. So I don't feel as bad giving it away as I used to. Because I used to take everything in and put everything in my jewelry box in my closet. Now it's like in the box. I don't even take it out. I'm like, here's a donation.
Okay,
Yeah,
I've got it.
exactly. Go ahead, Deana. Go for it. It's your
Oh
turn.
no, I was just gonna say, like, I had my previous wife. So my family is huge on finding out what you collect or what you like, and then they will bombard you with it for the next 30 years, and it drives me insane.
And that's what she was doing. Yes.
Yeah, and so then I told my previous wife, I said, by the way, the family will do this, so don't tell them anything that you collect or you like. And so, of course, we went to the family get together, and somebody who was one of those said, do you collect anything? What do you like? And she turned and looked at him and said, I love and like diamonds. And they went, oh. And she never had to deal with it.
That's a good answer.
That is awesome. That is so amazing. Oh, that's so cool. And what was I gonna say? Okay, I saw Melanie, you put something on that sparks joy. Did you rediscover it?
It was her breasts.
Melanie was about to flash us.
I'm going a little low there.
They spark joy.
For some people, they do.
It would spark joy, so go ahead.
As I said the other day, I am a Scorpio and everything comes down to one thing. No, I just, you know what? I hadn't seen this in a while because it was tucked under another piece.
Is that a labradorite?
Made this. Well, yes,
it looks like a labradorite.
Yes, which is one of my favorites. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to put this on right now.
Awesome.
Love that. Yeah, it's almost like, I always say it's like shopping from your own home, shopping from your closet as well, right?
Yes.
Oh, wait. Jessica said that I sign into Guides Gone Wild, and I was just thinking that would be an amazing live.
Oh yeah.
I think that,
Yeah.
ooh, Krystal got
The scalp massager.
I found it in my file.
Yeah, I tend to buy a lot of duplicates of stuff too because I will forget that I have things now that I've acquired so many things. And it's actually funny that our anniversary, my husband's anniversary, and I was a Valentine's Day. And he came home with this beautiful ring in a box, and I opened it up, and I'm like, it's the same ring I was wearing that he bought me 2 years ago. So I thought it was a joke. And I said to him, did you buy it in a different metal, maybe? Because I thought, maybe this one's white gold. He wanted me to have a yellow gold, but why two? He had forgotten that I had this ring. And I was like, I wear it every day. And I'm like, this is how much stuff I have that even he doesn't know what
yeah.
we have.
Oh, so what are you going to do with it?
We exchanged it for another ring, which I'm wearing, which I love.
Look at that. Sparkly.
It was actually, it was a duplicate of this ring that he got me, which I wear every day. So I said
That's
to him,
funny.
let's exchange it.
Oh, that's so cute. So for anyone who's decluttering with us right now, because I'm keeping time as well, we have 8 minutes left of this sprint, okay? And then we'll take a little micro break. I also
I've been
saw
busy with my duster.
good. How good does that feel? I love the Swiffer dusters. They like magnetize.
Especially for the desk because I can't reach back here.
Ah, totally. And I like how it's like, then you can switch it out. So I also wanted to just share, like, I didn't have one of these for the longest time, and I finally treated myself. I upgraded, and I was like, okay. So something that sparks a lot of joy is like these little Velcro ties. Because
Yeah.
I know, like, Krystal, you were doing your cords just now too. And you can even buy them in like a big roll. So you can cut them to whatever size that you need. They have like silicone ones too. And they're so handy. They spark a lot.
I love stuff like that. I have so many cords around my desk because I have 3 monitors, a laptop, all kinds of equipment. So I have cords everywhere. It's like a huge web of cords.
And there are label makers for cords, but you don't need a label maker to do that. You know washi tape? Do you guys know what washi tape is?
I don't.
They're like paper, decorative paper tapes. And you can rip it, right? So it comes in a little roll. It might have like really cute patterns on it as well. So you can rip it. And then what you can do is, like, if you get a cord like this, you just wrap it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can actually write like iPhone or whatever it is, or USB-C. And it honestly, like, just doing that, it saves so much time and energy because you're not trying to like fumble around trying to see, oh, is this micro USB or is this a USB-C?
I can identify that on site.
Yeah, I'm sure. Melanie, you're saying?
I think that something that works for me really well is also being flexible in my space. So if you've paid attention to me being on Ask Your Guides, this is not my usual view, but
Yes.
that's because I moved my desk yesterday. I wanted my desk a certain way, but I was like, you know what? I want to create a different vibe. So I shifted it, and that flexibility really opened up my space and allowed me to be able to have a different vibe in here. And I think that's important. I do that in my house a lot, even though my family doesn't like it because they don't like change.
Yeah.
But I think if you can allow yourself that space, that also can really help.
Yeah, I love that so much because, also based on like if there are anyone who is into like feng shui principles as well, just shifting things, it creates like new energy. You're inviting new energy flow into your house too. Like my kids love rearranging their room all the time as well. So that's something that like I have to deal with. Like it's like, when you say like your family doesn't like change, it's like with my girls, like they like change a little bit too much. So it's the opposite. But yeah, it just gives it that fresh feeling. But on a practical note, you can't move things around if there's stuff everywhere.
Yeah,
So
true.
that becomes like a hindrance, right? Yeah. And how about you, Deana? I can see things are starting to like get Deana, I can see your desk is starting to, there's like some form and some shape taking place.
Yeah, so I've gotten through like some pieces of paper that were mail that wasn't relevant, and then I've got the tax ones pulled out and put into a pile. And I did feel like I had like a and then I grabbed a little box like you said, but I haven't decided which of these elements to like shush into it. And so I'm saving it maybe for another space to do that with, but or I'll use this box to collate some stuff. But I've got like another pile of trash, and I'll run that to the kitchen in a second. And then I have this desire to compete with Melanie because
Give it up.
she had her organized thing, and I just want to share with everybody my Krystal where the lid doesn't quite fit the bottom exactly right. And inside of it is a ton of gay pride rubber wrist bracelets you get at every pride. And then there's a necklace and a mantra and a couple of beaded and then a broken bracelet as well. And I just wanted to see how that was collected together and something ill-fitting and
I love it.
just to
I love it.
compete with Melanie.
Good
I
job,
love
Deana. Good job.
You know what, Deana, that's okay. So because that's all categorized already as well, that's something that we could, if you don't mind doing, it's just like,
Yeah.
okay,
Sure.
take it all out, all right? Like create a little bit of space and then take it all out. Because I want to demonstrate to everyone, like, you know, the whole idea of how much easier it is when we do it by the category. So even though this is highly sentimental, this is a highly sentimental category. So yeah, pour it all out and then
Okay.
start with things that super spark joy. You're like, yes, definitely love that event, you know? Yeah.
This is my Kuan Yin necklace that I had a
Mhm.
dream, and Kuan Yin came to me and talked to me about it. So I will live and die on this hill.
I'm with you.
Yeah, it was so quick. You're just like, you grabbed it without a second thought. So that goes back in. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
that's the item.
All right. And this is yet one more pride bracelet from yet one more pride. So I'm not super sentimental about it, but if I go to a pride event, I'll put it on. I can also get another one while I'm there, so it's not a huge deal.
But it sparks joy for now. So you're keeping it with confidence.
Oh, no, I could care less. So
You could
it's well, I really don't care about having it. It's like it's there, but they're so common and easy to grab. I think I would rather give it away to people.
Okay.
But you know, if you go to any Pride event, they're going to have 100 of these things. So
Yeah. So it's like, you know, you can decide, like, do I want to, is there someone that I would love to give it to, or do I want to bring it to the next Pride event?
because I have like multiples of them. Yeah, I don't want to just toss it to be. So I might try to find like an organization here and drop it off. Although, see, then I get into like, dang, that's a lot of work. I'm just going to leave it in the bowl.
Well, you know, it's just the tiny little steps, right? You know, so it might be like, hey, I'm gonna put it into like a little bag, so it's handy. So then it's
Okay.
like, it's the tiny steps that we take. It's not like we have to drop it off right now, but it's like, hey, I'm gonna set the intention. You know, like, I'd love to give this to somebody. Yeah. If you
Okay,
come
well, I
across,
put a little giveaway box.
yeah.
And that I can do. So I can put all of these different ones in there because I have specific pride bracelets that I really enjoy more. Like this one is beaded and it has a really nice I'll put it closer to the camera. This one's beaded and it's got like a nice little thing versus a piece of floppy plastic. So I'll let go of the floppy plastic and hang on to the one that I actually will wear out and about for most times.
Perfect. Okay, so that can go back into your cute dish.
Hanging on to this because it's the Mobius circle, and the Mobius circle is a big deal to me. This one is a little bit messed up, but I really liked it. So I'm not ready to throw it away yet because I'm frustrated. Like maybe there's a way I can fix it. And so what do I do in that case?
Okay, so then that goes into another category, which is the is projects. Yeah.
Okay.
So like, you know, we're not putting it back into somewhere where we're not going to deal with it, right? It's like, oh, we're putting it out. It's like one step closer to doing the project. It's like, oh, what tools do I need, right? So it sets that intention.
Yeah, and so I know I'm going to keep these because I like, and I'll just quickly go through the rest of it. I really like these. These were made specifically for me. It's lava rock and another stone that's about transformation and male and female energy. So those I'll keep. And this is, I think, one that my god kids got me, so I'm not going to toss that. And I love to wear it. And then I have this mandala, which I thought I would use more often, but I don't tend to. But I'm not ready to just let it go because again, it's a lot of that same um, thing. So what could I do with this that it would be more present for me to see if I can use it differently?
Well, would you consider using it as a decorative element if you want to see it more often? Like for example,
Absolutely. I don't have to handle it. I could be cool with decorating with it.
yeah, like on your mantle, for example, right behind you,
Yeah, yeah. I think I'll decorate my mermaid. I have a mermaid too, Violet, and I only have one though. And so I'll put it on her and let it drape down her body because I think I would like that.
That would be pretty.
So
That's what I did
yeah,
with mine. I have mine hanging too. I have a purple one and it's hanging.
of course you have a purple one. Your aunt gave it to you.
I actually had to buy that myself.
Oh, but that's the end of mine. So what do you suggest now? I've gone through it and now have a mostly empty bowl
Yes.
because I got rid of the things that were in it. And these are actually things I'll wear really often. So it's here where I'll run from this room out the door. So letting you know that. So if you want to summarize that or other
No, that's perfect, right? Like
okay.
you know exactly like how you said. You can just like put what you want on and run with it. And then now you've set the intention. Now you got your projects. You have your decorative necklace that you're going to put over the mermaid. And then you also have the ones that you can keep in your bag to give away to people as well, or to an organization. You know exactly how to reach for it. And you know what? That took you 3 minutes to do.
Oh wow, cool. All
That's
right.
how she did.
I have a question. Do you
Yes.
have suggestions on how to, like, I obviously have a lot of crystals and they get very dusty, so I'm taking them all off
Mhm.
and I'm putting them back on, but like some of them look cloudy. I want to clean them better and I want to do it all at once. I don't want to go, one at a time. My dodecahedron is looking cloudy and I need it to sparkle again.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so that's our next sprint done as well, guys. Like that's just how quickly the time goes. And so we can like just get a little bit of movement in. I know, Deana, you have some items that you might have wanted to run to the bin to throw away as well. Yeah, just get some movement into the body too. Violet, you might want to start creating a pile. Like, do you have a box near you or a tray where you can actually, I'm gonna just move while I'm talking. You can just like put the projects, right? The ones that are
Yes.
cloudy or dusty, that just needs a little bit of extra love. And that's how you start creating, the subcategories. Yeah. And I think Krystal has gone somewhere as well. Caitlin, how are you doing? I see you're like busy rolling up your yard.
Last week I took all my angel crystals down from the shelf. I have upstairs in the bedroom too. I took all my angel crystals down from the shelves and I dusted them all and I dusted those shelves and I felt like I could breathe again. That's what I want to do to the whole house.
Yes, yeah. And how does it feel after you dusted, Violet?
It always feels so good. Always. I feel like I can breathe.
Yeah, I always use like, when it's like a sunny day and then you're like, oh, I'm so grateful for the sun, but you're also like, the dust.
Yes.
The dust,
That's when I
yeah.
see it.
Yes. Okay. Oh, and then also, sorry, I know Monica was asking about the underwear. So I am definitely going to show you. I hope you're still here, Monica. I'm so sorry. And Siska has a great suggestion. A bowl of rice, dry in your window and ask the moon and sun to cleanse it. The
Well,
crystal.
I do cleanse my crystals. I want to get the dust off of them though, and putting them in the putting them in the window unfortunately doesn't get the dust to go away.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna show underwear as well. I'm showing my kids cute underwear.
I just want to mention with the crystals, you want to be careful physically washing them because
Yes,
some
I
you
know.
can't get wet.
Anything with an
So I
ITE
don't
like
know how to. I don't know how
selenite.
else to clean them.
Yeah, yeah. I've run them in water too, even the selenite. As long as you don't keep it there, it hasn't really been an issue.
Fire cord. Oh, yes. And Siska had a great idea for a cord. So yeah, people use like the toilet tube, the toilet paper tubes to put them in. Those are great for things that are like a little bit thicker as well, like, extension cords or something, right? Yes. Okay, so before we get started on our final sprint, I hope everyone's feeling ready. And how are you doing, Krystal, as well? Because I know you're finished with your desk too, so I wanted to see how you're doing.
I actually started, I brought in another bag into my room that needed to be organized. So
Brilliant.
yeah, my desk looks awesome. The lump in my throat went away about doing this. So yeah, I'm feeling good about it.
Okay, great. I'm so grateful. And how about you, Caitlin?
I think I'm gonna get pens to do next. I'm gonna test my pens because I organized my bin of hats and scarves. It's overflowing, but so the hats are all nice and organized, and I found this pair of kid deer skin gloves my sister gifted me. I don't know how long ago that have been lost in that box. So I was like, yes, now I have gloves to wear. So that was exciting. So that's done, and I think I'm gonna go get pens to work on for the next sprint.
Yeah, I love it when we find like items that were like, even seeing Melanie show us her necklace as well. And then you found her glove. Deana also found like her coin into, you can just feel the joy that these items bring us, right? Yeah. And then, Violet, you cleared off your crystals too. And then Krystal is like, that lump in your throat. Like we've let go of the fear. And we're doing so with that joy and gratitude because the power of love supersedes everything, right? So I know, Deana, you're yeah, so you know what you can do, because if you want to shush the space too, it's really about like, okay, thinking about what are the essentials that you need on this table. And then start with that, similar to what you did with your accessories.
I think I could shush the candles because I don't really burn candles very much. People occasionally give me them, but it's just not something I do a lot of. And but everything else on this table is something that I will interact with pretty constantly. It's like the mail that I have to deal with, the notepads for upcoming meditations, um, a lot of the technology is stuff that I use often. So it's like everything on this table is actually something I interact with multiple times in a week.
Okay, that's great.
Outside of the
Yeah.
candles. The candles are me.
And that's fine, because even when you were going through your accessories, it's not a matter of like, this isn't minimalism. You don't have to get rid of anything. It's just really confirming that it serves a purpose and it brings you joy. So if there's nothing that you're like, I don't need a shasha, but you're like candles, okay, maybe that can go into your mantle place, right? Because it becomes like, what we call it is joy plus touches. So the joy plus items, just like how Melanie has her beautiful singing bowls and her koshi chimes behind her, when you see it, it brings you joy, or seeing a framed photo of loved ones.
I'm happy with letting go of the candles because they don't bring me joy. They're just there because people gave them to me. And then I thought, well, I'll burn them. But then you got to be careful with cats, like what sets them off, what doesn't. So that's why I don't want to do the research to figure out if this candle is going to be toxic. So I'd rather just get rid of it than spend my time finding out if I have a toxic candle.
It's brilliant. You're honoring and respecting your time and your bandwidth, right? You're like, that's more important. So yeah, that can be your giveaway box. Perfect, right there. Okay, so I know we have the underwear one, so sorry, guys. I'm gonna show you this. So you can see like front, and then so facing the back, we're gonna fold it down into thirds. So you see how I'm folding it right now? So folding the left to the middle, the right into the middle as well. And then the waistband where the elastic is, sorry, I need to sneeze. Okay, no, I got it. You fold this down 1/3. Okay. And then this part, the fold, the elastic band, the first part, you basically just tuck it in. So it becomes like that. So it's nice and it is nice and folded like a little dumpling, you know, like, or a little burrito. Yeah, and I can show you another one. So again, not the front, but the back. So if you're doing it on a table, you can imagine. Let me see if I can show you from a table perspective. Ooh, sorry, guys. With me to triangle. Let's do it like this, okay? So you can see it like this. The back is facing up. And then imagine into thirds. Left, right. The waistband is here. Fold it 1/3 of the way through. And then there is the first top of the elastic. And then you just pop it in. Pop that last third in. And it's just like that. So then you end up, I'm going to do this a little bit nicer because I was doing it while I was holding it up. Okay. Yeah. And then you can even do it by the colors. That's it. Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Thomas. Yeah, and honestly, Violet and Melanie are just absolutely incredible hosts. So thank you guys for creating this space too. And then Nicole says, does that not stretch the band out? No, it actually doesn't. And socks are a different story though, because there's different ways. It's actually a point of contention in our house, how we fold the socks. So I might bring a pair of socks just to show everyone too. But yeah, so that's that, you know, and then it's the same for like boxers and briefs too. So these are my husband's. He's actually a teacher on Insight Timer here as well. And it's hilarious because he's always like, you're just showing everyone everything. He doesn't mind. He loves folding. So he does all the laundry, and we use taking care of the home as a way to soothe the nervous system. It becomes like a self-regulation tool too, because we both work from home. And so during these 5-minute breaks, then we just go around and just deal with like whatever that needs to be done, whether it's just like vacuuming for 5 minutes, you know, doing the dishes or taking out the dishwasher, folding the laundry. So your breaks become, you know, like taking care of the home becomes integrated in our breaks. And it's a really incredible energy booster as well. So, and so I wanted to just share, let's see, let's use one of them. And this is another thing, right? So imagine you have a drawer. When you pull it out, then what you see is everything in one go. And then instead of things that are, you know, typically things would be top to bottom, you're not going to wear like dinner plates. You're not typically not going to grab the thing on the bottom, which means that it doesn't, that you don't use it as frequently, and the stuff on top gets worn out more frequently. Whereas if you go this way, this is the file folding method. What happens is, you know, like I'm like, okay, I'm feeling green today. So you just pull it out and nothing gets messed up. Right? You're just, and if you're doing the laundry and you need to pop it back in, you just literally just pop it in. Just like that. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just like a way to just take a break as well, right? And then you know, you can put things back, and then it actually helps you to get into that flow state of mind. You're not stressed trying to shove things into a drawer. Everything has a home. So that is that. I'm gonna show, let's just demo one of these as well, just to show like different sizes of undies. I usually don't do his just because it takes up a lot more screen space. Yeah. So again, same, you know, the back is facing up. And then we're looking at it from thirds. So left side goes down the middle, right side goes down into it. And then the waistband goes 1/3 of the way. Lift up the elastic from the first fold, then pop it in. And how cute is that? So there you go. This is how we do it. And it makes so much of a difference to just getting dressed. I know that some of us are go commando, so it doesn't pertain to us. But like if you do have it, it will make a big difference. I'm gonna refold this because this is bothering me. So this one is his workout tops, you know, so even here where we're just using a little vegetable tray, again, everything. So you don't put it in facing this side because you can see the sight line is like, it's quite messy. It's not aesthetically pleasing. So what we do here is this side, that folded part faces up. Do you see here? Like if we put it in this way, do you see how like visually it's actually more, it looks more messy. So just a simple turn can make a difference just from when we're looking at it visually, right? So when we fold it, you know, and then just making sure is that this folded part, yeah, it's going up. Okay, so just wanted to show the KonMari fold and just use whatever you have at home. I even use these inside of my fridge because it becomes like really great dividers inside the drawers. Yeah. I wonder, Melanie, what do you use in your fridge? Do you use like those turntables or any containers?
Wait, repeat that. I'm sorry. I was reading a piece of mail.
Oh, no worries. Like, yeah, do you use any organizing tools inside of your fridge?
So interestingly enough, no. And I organize my fridge though all the time, but my husband last week said, I really want to put sheet trays in here because I feel that things need to be contained. So I don't know if you've seen the small ones that you can put in a refrigerator. So if something spills, it catches it. And he put it in there and then he just threw stuff to make it fit. And I said to him, because I have a very specific way that I organize in my brain, and I said to him, this doesn't work for me because I need dairy together. You know, I need
What was he thinking? Does he not know you?
Exactly. I was like, how have we been married this long? I feel like I've been cheated on right now. And so okay. Okay. I'm exaggerating. I just like the dramatics. But no, I didn't like it. So his need to like have it fit now is superseding my need to have it organized. Do you know what I mean?
Amir, if you're watching, do not agree with her.
He clearly knew, like he was like, I think Melanie needs a new challenge. Let's just
Yeah.
go.
She's
like,
she's the troublemaker, Amir.
He's trying to mess with my brain so it doesn't get old. You know how, I don't know if anybody knows this, you're supposed to occasionally, you know, brush with your non-dominant hand and do work with your non-dominant hand to keep your brain fresh. So he's like trying to do that in my kitchen space. But I've shown on my lives, because I, you know, run a cooking school out of here, how I organize my equipment. And that is super organized. I have these amazing containers that I have everything organized, and to the point where I just know like there should be, you know, 6 spatulas in here, 5 garlic presses, 2 microplanes. And it's because I do it every day, but I know exactly which goes in each one.
Yeah, and that's such a great point as well, Melanie, because you know exactly what you own. There's no question about it. There's not going to be repeat purchases. You know which one that you're going to have to upgrade soon as well. So it's not taking up precious mental bandwidth, thinking about like, oh, do I have this? Do I need to replace it? And then this is also how we end up saving money too. So yeah, just having that mental audit of our home, we can actually save money. Yeah, repeat purchases.
And everybody needs a fluorite guitar.
Fluorite guitar. Oh my
as
goodness.
well as a malachite elephant.
That is so cute. I have never
I
seen
mean,
the guitar before.
Oh, the guitar was one of my favorites. I also have a labradorite purse around here somewhere.
It's adorable.
JE said, and I don't know if JE is talking about the kitchen, but like, what if you put the containers in your drawers? I have Metro shelving. Mine for the kitchen, mine is not in a drawer because also part of, I know I already know my organizational systems. So I actually need to see things. So mine is out, and also people use it. So I have it visible. And it's like when you're talking about the closet, I hang everything. That's very important to me. Stop it.
Nicole says she needs one. I wanted her to see it. I mean, come on, look how cute that. Look
Nobody
how
needs
cute.
that. Throw that away.
Oh, you don't want to know how much I paid for some of these crystals.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, no, they're amazing. No, honestly, and like people are also talking about sleeping on the floor. Actually, it's very grounding, right? Ooh, is that a purse?
It is a labradorite purse.
That's
I've
ridiculous,
never
by the way.
seen that.
Is that a teeny? What do
This
you
is
put in
why-
that purse?
This is why I don't let Melanie come help me declutter because she'd be throwing away all my
Wait a minute.
crystals.
Put that. What do you do with that purse?
Oh, it just sits on my desk. Just the
Yes,
guitar too. I mean, I don't play it.
yeah, and you know what? Also, it's like I love how
My
you mentioned about
dagger.
having all of your shirts all hung up too, right? Because it's not one size fits all. This is a framework. It's just best practices. So, obviously for people living in Asia, maybe the houses aren't as big, maybe don't have as much closet space too. So it just makes more sense to put it into a drawer where it's folded too. So it's just a way to save space. But if you have plenty of wardrobe space and you can hang everything up and that sparks joy, you can find like spark joy hangers too, like uniform. It makes it more calming from the sightline point of view too. So little things that can like create those upgrades. And at the end of the day, it's really like you do you, what works best for your system. Yeah.
Except for purse crystals.
Yes. Oh,
Melanie's
and-
just here to brag.
No, listen, my husband and my son, I'm always like, you need to hang everything. You need to hang everything because they're folders. If I have, it doesn't even matter if I Marie Kondo it and put it in that. I tried that many years ago when she published her book. I'm me, right? So I'm a little bit, and I would pull something out and like everything else would just be like a fireworks of clothing coming out. And I learned, okay, for my best practices, I need it hung because I'm also like, what am I going to wear? What should I put on today? And I'm going through stuff. So that's why hanging it's just, I need things very visual and sort of right there for me.
I'm just messing with you, Melanie.
Oh, I know. I don't even care. I love it. I'm going to give it right back.
and then
Listen, I don't care what you say about my crystals. Everybody needs a pyrite heart and a malachite elephant. Come on, look how cute he is.
so cute. Yeah. So looking at all your items as well, like think about which ones, I mean, you can even do like a crystal rotation, right? You have your pile of the ones that need to be like dusted and given a little bit of love. You can think about which ones do you really want to like, we call it the joy plus touches, right? Like the ones that you want display.
That's what I've been sitting here doing this whole time. I'm just touching all of them. I'm like, that's so nice to just touch them.
She wants them all to bring her joy because she's not going to
I'm
have
not.
separate piles.
No.
They're going to just be dusted and put back.
Oh, they are. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm dusting them and putting them back.
And it's just a reminder.
But
of
I've
how much-
rearranged them. And she did say when you move stuff around, it gets new energy. So I'm feeling that new energy.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Violet, I see your crystals and I raise you aliens.
I
They're
love it. I love it. My people.
Love that so much. Oh, and peace. Oh, thank you so much for being here as well. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So much amazing energy here. Thank you guys so much for being here while we're decluttering. I hope that if you guys are decluttering too, let us know what you're working on. I always love to know what other people are doing too. Because especially since I can't see it visually too. So describe to us what
Show
you're
you my
doing.
crystals.
Yeah.
Can you see them? They're
Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that. And you got snow too. Oh my gosh.
yeah. But I keep mine on and this is my meditation room and my rock collection.
Love that. Oh, that's gorgeous. Yeah, I have a rock collection too. I keep it in the bathroom. You know, it's what's cool. It's like, because a lot of people always say like, oh, spring cleaning, right? And actually, there's no better time than to do it now because that means that when spring is here, we're ready to be outside, right? It's such a cozy activity to do. Okay. Inge, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name properly as well.
That's right, Inga.
I just refilled them the way. Yes. Oh, Melinda. Oh, the underwear. Yeah. So like this, right? Isn't it? It actually saves so much space. So if you do have space, because some people like to roll their t-shirts, and that's fine if you have the space for it. But rolling it actually takes up more square footage. So if you do fold it, it actually will take up less square footage. So I'll show you Inga as well. So you can see here, these are folded. These are like my husband's boxers. So then you can see when it's folded this way, it actually takes up less space. And Deana as well, before I do the folding, then Deana, I want to just show you. So same with file folding, you know how everything is standing up? Just having one of these like magazine, you know, these magazine file folders, organizers as well, is really helpful for desk space, office spaces, because it takes up less square footage. It's only taking up this much, right?
Right,
And then when
right.
this way, yeah, you're able to also grab it easily, because again, when everything is kind of in that dinner plate motion, dinner plate formation, you know, when you grab something, it goes like this, right?
Right.
Like it's like spills over. But whereas if it's like this, then it's just a matter of like plucking it out.
Yeah.
So this is
No.
how like it's the little things where we end up saving our energy. Because you know, if you have a pile of things and it's like you pull something out, same with clothes, right? Like, we pull like a t-shirt from the bottom of the pile and then it spills over and you're like, oh, I have to like fold that whole thing again. So it's the little tiny changes that can like actually optimize our space and energy. So
Very
let me just-
cool. And I did see that a couple of people requested you fold a sock as well. So I don't know if you've already done that or not, but just to let you know, that hit the queue as well.
Oh, and then Stephanie says, having you all in the background gave me courage to move my bed and vacuum under and clean the baseboards, which I find emotionally frightening. And I got rid of a couple things in that process. Thank you. I love this so much. Thank you so much. And for sharing, you know, because obviously we can't see. Yeah, I can't see. And then let me see also. I will grab socks.
Nicole and I are doing a crystal show on the side.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That's palm root.
That's amazing. Let me write that down. Calm root. And we got calm strips as well earlier from Melanie, the calm strips. Palm root.
Right, Nicole? Nicole is my people. We're going to talk later.
I made
Yes.
progress. I
Yeah, show
emptied
us.
I emptied a cup. I threw out a whole cup worth of pens, so now I have room to put pens from the drawer into it so they're on display and I can use them.
Nice.
Yay.
They're functioning too. There's nothing that sparks more joy than finding pens that are functioning. Okay, I'm gonna get the socks. It is a point of contention.
And I have been dusting as I go along because the more I touch them, the less dust they have. I've got a couple more elephants too. There's a lapis lazuli elephant and a black obsidian.
Okay.
Not as
guys.
big as the malachite elephants, but you know, look how cute they are. Come on.
Okay, I think we had some.
I'm a bad influence, I know.
No, not at all. I am like a kid in a candy store when it comes to crystal shops. Like, I haven't actually been to a crystal expo yet, and I'm kind of afraid. Oh my God.
I stopped going to crystal shops because I was getting out of control.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Getting, I
Okay.
was out of control, not getting, I was.
Oh, yeah. And then do you see what Elizabeth had written to Caitlin as well? Something really beautiful and meaningful occurred from me learning to crochet, which I was inspired to learn because of you. My husband had a granny that was more like a mom to him that crocheted all the time and would make him blankets. He had told me this before, but he is constantly cleaning out and rarely gets sentimental about material items. However, when he saw what item I was practicing on, it hit him differently. He talked about her again, but with so much emotion, which is highly unusual for him. And he expressed wishing he had one. That's beautiful. Yeah. All right, and yeah, and Elizabeth, are you going to make him one? And you say that sadly, we have been mostly cut off from his parents. They have blamed all of this on me instead of owning the hurt that I had caused their son. So they do not speak to me at all, really. And even then, my mother-in-law can be very unkind, shaming, threatening, etc. Friday morning during your live, I felt centered enough in my love to reach out and threw out the idea of giving him one, even if they still had one and could part with it. Despite 2 triggering responses, I stayed in love. Wow. Your affirmations came on right after the second response. That really helped. Amazing, Caitlin. So for anyone who is keen on mindful crocheting and crafting, please check out Caitlin's lives too. That is just such a beautiful testimonial. So Caitlin, I hope that you're taking screenshots of the beautiful words that Elizabeth has shared with you too. That is amazing. Okay, so I know that we have a couple minutes left. See how fast the time goes?
It's amazing. Like 2 hours was not enough.
Right. And then again, like that, there you go. Another sprint is pretty much done. Okay. So
Oh, that too. Yes.
yeah. And then, oh, Teresa, Rebecca, I want a ticket for your USA tour. Oh my gosh, it would be so fun, honestly. Okay. And then what about towels? Don't roll them, JE asks. You can, if you want to, if you have space. Like some people like to do it the hotel style. So if you YouTube like hotel towel rolling method, then you can make it fancy, create that spa vibe in your own home, right? And so that's something you can consider, because this is really where that intention to create that spaciousness comes in. What kind of vibe do you want? And this is another thing, like why we love going to hotels so much, because everything has a place. It's uncluttered. So as soon as you walk in, your nervous system feels calm. And it's like similar to Insight Timer. When you go into a live, you just feel so warm and fuzzy and nourished. And we can recreate those vibes right in our own homes, right? Yes. And yeah, Jay says, I just want to save space at this point. Well, it depends on what you're using. Like if you have like a big box, then you can actually file fold the towels if you want to. It really depends on what that space looks like. So everyone's spaces look different. And based on it, then, you can reconfigure it. Okay. Is that the Lego world map behind me? Yes, it is. So, oh, this is a Spark Joy item. My husband got it for his birthday. And you know what's so cool about it is that it comes in squares. Right. So they're actually all square pieces. So over Christmas, I think it was like 2 Christmases ago, and it was just sitting on our coffee table. So everyone who like just kind of came over and hung out, they just took a square and they just made the piece. And then over the course of Christmas, over the holidays, then we just connected it all together. So this is a pretty cool Spark Joy item, because we are a nomadic family, so we travel quite a lot too. So that brings a lot of joy. And I'll show you guys. This doesn't super spark joy for me. It's my husband's. So he decided, he was like, I don't want to be sharing screen anymore when he presents online. So he started to go like analog and old school. So he's like presenting like this, so that he can be on the screen too. He teaches mindfulness and meditation. Yeah. So you can check out his profile if you wanted to. For anyone who is struggling with chronic health issues, he has a degenerative disc condition. So his profile is all about the intersection of chronic pain and mindfulness. Okay, so before we wrap up for today, I want to also just show the socks. Okay, so this is how he folds it. It's not my favorite way. So normally we use ironing hands. Let me just scooch this as well. Yes, his name is Jo-Rushdy. Jo-Rushdy. Okay, here we go. So you can see here, we actually use ironing hands. Ironing hands are like, you just infuse some love into your socks, right? Into anything that you're folding. And this is also a way to just get mindful. Like you're not doing it mindlessly. You're really thinking about it. I'm like thinking, okay, like this is starting to get a little bit tattered. It probably has a few more wears left in it. Like maybe I'll wear it for one more season and then toss it, right? So you also keep that in mind. And then again, we fold it into thirds. And we just take this part to fold it up, to wrap it up in. And it just becomes flat. Like it's really to have it as flat as possible. So we're not actually balling it up, because when we ball it up, actually the elasticity you'll lose the elasticity from it. So there is another method as well. So typically in the Marie Kondo way, we don't actually roll it. Normally it just becomes, the infusing of love and gratitude. And then normally the Marie Kondo way will be like this. So there's no folding it inside out sort of thing. But I do find, because it's easy for it to kind of get out of shape if it's not together. So the other option is like how I have showed you, just to make sure that it is nice and flat. So it's not a ball. When it is balled up, then we're not showing it, we're not showing it love, right? So anytime that we are folding things, just to infuse it with that love. And then you see how like this, like I literally have people who will tell me, they're like, Rebecca, I'm obsessed with folding underwear now, Yeah, the flat is gonna protect the elasticity together. Yes. And Violet and Nicole, I can't wait for your Krystal live too. Yeah, amazing. Oh, that is so cute.
I was trying to show her my hot air balloon.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think
Rebecca's like, let me humor Violet because she's losing it.
no. It's so cute. I mean, how
Like,
do you
I
feel?
don't know. I was kind of hearing that.
No, I love crystals. So like, I mean, just seeing all the different types you have, I've never seen a purse crystal. I have never seen a guitar one, and I've never seen a hot air balloon one too.
You never will again.
It's like the most unusual.
Wait, Melanie, I'm getting my dagger out on Melanie.
Have one for every purpose. I love that so much. Oh my gosh, yes, be very afraid. Yep, that's what Nicole's saying. Yeah, love it.
Nicole and
So
I are going to do a 5-hour live on crystals.
yes, oh, too cute. Yeah, so how's everyone feeling? We're done.
I love that
we're-
I got to move stuff around, that I got to dust. I mean, just that alone made me feel better.
Next time we need to tackle magazines.
Yes. Yeah. Books and magazines are under the same one category, right? There's something about it. People find it, I find it hard too, especially magazines.
Paper.
Yes. Yes. I don't
And
know
I've
why.
reduced all of my magazine subscriptions except for these 4 to digital,
Mhm.
and these can't go digital. I need them to touch them.
Yeah. There's something so special about, like, I have a whole stack of magazines as well, like just being able to flip through it, right? Like we don't have enough non-screen time activities to do nowadays. Yeah. And Krystal, how are you feeling?
I feel good. I'm really very pumped about the progress that I made, because looking at my desk, I was like, this is a mountain of
Yeah.
stuff. It wasn't a mountain. I thought, looking at it, to me, I like exaggerated it in my head, and it was so easy to put into piles and then to say, okay, that's garbage. That can go upstairs. This is electronics. Hugely
Right.
helpful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad, because it's also like, it's that reminder of how much time do we waste thinking about it. And then when we actually do it, I think you finished it within the first sprint. And within like the first 25 minutes, I was like, oh, you're done.
Yeah, and then I moved on to other stuff that I could reorganize and rearrange.
And
Yeah.
it's that inspired action that fuels us, because I know early on you said that it was that fear of letting go, right? And just getting comfortable with it. Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you, Krystal. I can't wait to check out all of your offerings and teachings too. And it was that beautiful reminder. Thank you for reminding us anytime we feel that overwhelm, just to tap ourselves too. So yeah, I love the hive mind of Insight Timer community. And Deana, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm definitely at a point where I don't want to do it anymore. It's, like I'm like done with it. But I mean, not that I'm done, but I'm done with what I'm gonna do, like because of like the emotions and yada yada that it goes through. And I am still trying to figure out like, so I have like a box of stuff I don't want. And I know some people are like, oh, I need to know it's going to a good home. I just need to get rid of it. I don't care if it's going to a good home. I don't care if anybody repurposes it. You know, I do hate to just toss it in the trash, but I just want it to have another home. I don't care if it's a good home or a bad home. Just get it out.
So you don't
Glad
have that
glad
big,
that's not a pet.
I would feel totally different about a pet.
yeah, yeah,
I'd
and
be like
you're
do or die for my pets.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right, because it's also like you're like, okay, that's not going to hold you back, because sometimes that does hold people back. They want to know exactly where it goes, and that becomes challenging. So anything that you have decided on, for example, the candles or anything else that you guys have decided on that you want to get rid of, then get it out of the house. This is one of my easiest hacks to welcome new energy and new opportunities. So if you've already decided that you don't want something, then set the intention and like drop it off, right? Because don't put it into the car and just be driving it around with it for like months. Yeah. So thank you guys so much. And thank you, Caitlin, as well. If you have any last words that you want to share, Caitlin, before signing off.
No, I did good. The dog's going crazy. So
I was
he
I
says
was gonna
hi.
say before you
I did really good
Thomas, thank you
yesterday.
for that. Thank you for that donation, by the way, Thomas. Before you leave, Caitlin, do you have any lives coming up you want to share?
Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we're doing commitment to love. We're doing affirmations with the crochet.
Yay! Amazing.
Excellent. And Deana, share.
As far as upcoming things, I did want to say for commitment to love, I'm going to put a hashtag on one of my tracks I already have, which is feeling overwhelmed with the state of the world, and how you can affect that. So it takes you into peace, and then how you can share that peace out. And the second track that I would put into the commitment to love grouping would be the one where it's how to operate in times of fear. And so I'll add those two, and I will plan to do some lives, but I don't have a live scheduled at this point. So just if you don't follow, give a follow, and then you'll get the news when one comes forward. I'll probably do one in the next week or so.
Awesome. Krystal.
Ooh.
Oh, you're muted.
All right, there we go.
You're-
Okay. I don't have it scheduled yet, but the last Sunday of every month, I do a yoga nidra and an oracle card pull. At the end of that, I was doing live events every Friday, but then I ended up picking up another job. So keep an eye out. I will do more oracle pulls, but I don't have anything scheduled yet.
And Melanie, I know you got a bunch of stuff, so can you run through the list?
Yeah, tomorrow night at 7:30, I have a live where I'm going to be playing the gongs. Super excited about that. And then I have one on Tuesday at 5 p.m. on Violet's page. I have a retreat coming up in March. So Allison and I host them together, and we're going to be doing one of sort of a taste of what you would get on our retreat. And I'm sure you got a feel for that right now in this live. And then 7 p.m. on Tuesday on Violet's page. Also, we're doing one with Jo-Rushdy and so many teachers on a commitment to love. And then on Thursday, I have another one where I'm doing a sound bath as well. I think that's at 7:30. And then every Sunday, I have my regular live at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, where I do mindful cooking or intuitive baking. And this morning, I made pumpkin tofu, which was amazing.
And I wanted to add that
Pumpkin seed. Sorry.
that live on Tuesday with the teachers, we've got like 17, 18 teachers already.
Amazing. Oh, so good. So many amazing programs coming up, and lives and teachers to check out as well. So
And Rebecca, share yours too, because you've got stuff scheduled this week, don't you?
I usually do it on a Wednesday. I'm actually kind of rejigging my schedule a little bit, but currently it's Wednesdays. I do a live decluttering for an hour. So for anyone who's like, okay, I just need to get some stuff done, Pomodoro, then we're here to support one another. And I also just want to mention again, like the checklist too, right? Because I know like we didn't really necessarily go by the category, but once you kind of get a feel for it, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. If you want to go back and do it by the categories, then that's something to consider as well. I know that Violet, you sent it in the email too. So I just wanted to share that.
I did. I signed up for that right away and I was like, wow, this is great. Some great resources you have. So I definitely recommend everyone check out Rebecca Jo-Rushdy, Rushdy, her profile here on Insight Timer, and find her link there because she's got some amazing stuff on her site.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And we're here to support each other. That's why the Insight Timer community is amazing, right? We're here to support this growth. And
it's nice to not feel judged. I mean, I was joking around about my stuff, but it's something normally I would not have been talking to other people about because I'm like, I don't want them to judge me. I don't want them to be like, oh my God, look at all the stuff she has, or she hasn't dusted her desk.
Rebecca, Peace asked what time on Wednesday.
It is, oh gosh, I think it is 3 p.m. It's Pacific time would be probably 8 a.m. or Arizona. No, Peace is in Arizona, so I think it will be 9 a.m. for her. Yeah. So check it out. Yeah, thank you guys so much as well.
Yes, thank you, everyone. You hung out for over 2 hours with us, and we are thrilled and grateful. It's always wonderful to hang out with everybody here. Make sure you follow all the teachers that are here with us, and I'm sure we will be back soon. Rebecca, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, no, again, like Stephanie says, like, thank you to teachers for your vulnerability and for letting us know there are things you don't find easy either. Yeah. So thank you. And like also for Deana as well, like you did the live decluttering of sentimental items. And sometimes these items, we just need to share the story one last time. It's like, that's like a nice little release too, right? Yeah. So you felt confident in letting go of those items. So thank you for sharing that with everyone. It was really powerful.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for guiding us through this, Rebecca. Appreciate it.
No problem. And then we'll connect soon again. Thank you guys so much. Take care.
Thank you.